Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that your stomach has completely disappeared. You eat your favorite meal. You chew. You swallow. But instead of turning into energy, every bite just sits there, untouched. Within hours, your body begins starving even though your stomach is full. Your brain grows foggy. Your muscles weaken. Your heart struggles to keep beating. And slowly, every organ inside you starts shutting down. Sounds terrifying, right? But here's the shocking part. Your stomach is only one small piece of a much larger, far more complex system working inside your body every single second. Right now, as you're watching this video, millions of microscopic chemical reactions are happening inside you. Tiny rivers of acid are dissolving food. Powerful enzymes are slicing giant molecules into microscopic pieces. Trillions of bacteria are working like an invisible civilization. Muscles are squeezing food through a winding tunnel nearly 9 meters long. And perhaps the most surprising fact of all, most people spend their entire lives using this incredible system every day without ever knowing what actually happens inside it. So, what's really inside our digestive system? How does a simple bite of food become blood, energy, muscles, skin, and even thoughts? And what secret world is hiding inside your body right now? Let's take an unforgettable journey through one of the greatest biological machines ever created. Every journey starts with a single bite. Most people think digestion begins in the stomach. It doesn't. Digestion begins the instant food enters your mouth. Your teeth aren't simply cutting food into smaller pieces. They're performing the first stage of mechanical digestion. Incisors slice, canines tear, premolars crush, and molars grind food into tiny particles, dramatically increasing the surface area for enzymes to work. But something even more fascinating is happening. Your salivary glands release nearly 1 to 1.5 liters of saliva every day. That saliva isn't just water. It's packed with enzymes like amylase, which immediately begins breaking down starch into smaller sugars before food even reaches your stomach. Every chew is actually a microscopic chemical factory beginning its work. The more thoroughly you chew, the easier the rest of your digestive system's job becomes. Then comes swallowing. Although it feels simple, swallowing is one of the most carefully coordinated actions your body performs. More than 50 muscles and several nerves work together in perfect timing. A tiny flap called the epiglottis seals your windpipe so food doesn't enter your lungs. Without even thinking about it, your body performs this life-saving action thousands of times throughout your life. Once swallowed, food enters the esophagus. Many people imagine food simply falling into the stomach because of gravity. That's actually false. Even if you stand upside down, food still reaches your stomach. Why? Because the esophagus uses rhythmic muscular contractions called peristalsis. Wave after wave of muscle squeezes food downward with incredible precision. This muscular conveyor belt works whether you're standing, sitting, lying down, or even floating in space. At the end of the esophagus sits an important muscular valve known as the lower esophageal sphincter. Its job is simple but essential. It opens to let food enter the stomach, then immediately closes to prevent powerful stomach acid from flowing back upward. When this valve weakens, acid reflux and heartburn can occur. Now food reaches one of the body's most famous organs, the stomach. Many people imagine it as a simple storage bag. In reality, it's an incredibly powerful chemical reactor. Inside your stomach, muscular walls contract continuously, churning food into a thick liquid called chyme. At the same time, specialized cells release hydrochloric acid strong enough to dissolve many harmful bacteria. The stomach's pH can drop close to 1, similar to the acidity of battery acid. So why doesn't your stomach digest itself? Because its inner lining produces a thick layer of protective mucus. Without this protective shield, your stomach would literally begin digesting its own tissues. Along with acid, the stomach also releases pepsin, an enzyme responsible for breaking proteins into smaller fragments. Despite popular belief, food doesn't remain in the stomach all day. Depending on the meal, most food stays there roughly 2 to 4 hours before moving onward. If the stomach is the mixing chamber, the small intestine is the true powerhouse of digestion. Although called small, It stretches nearly 6 meters in length. This is where most nutrients enter your bloodstream. Its inner surface isn't smooth. Instead, it's covered with millions of finger-like projections called villi. Each villus contains even smaller structures called microvilli. Together they create an enormous surface area, roughly the size of a tennis court. This massive area allows nutrients to be absorbed with astonishing efficiency. Proteins become amino acids. Carbohydrates become glucose. Fats become fatty acids and glycerol. Everything your cells need begins entering your circulation here. Without this enormous absorption system, eating would accomplish almost nothing. Here's where digestion becomes even more fascinating. 3 powerful organs work behind the scenes. The liver is your largest internal organ. Besides hundreds of other functions, it produces bile. Bile doesn't digest fat directly. Instead, it breaks large fat droplets into tiny droplets, making them easier for enzymes to digest. The gallbladder stores this bile until it's needed. After a fatty meal, it contracts and releases bile into the small intestine. Then comes the pancreas. Although many people only associate it with diabetes, it's actually one of the digestive system's greatest chemical factories. Every day it releases digestive enzymes capable of breaking down proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. It also produces bicarbonate, which neutralizes the stomach's powerful acid before food enters the intestine. Without this neutralization, intestinal tissues would suffer serious damage. Now for one of the most astonishing discoveries in modern science. You're never truly alone. Your digestive tract contains trillions of microorganisms collectively known as the gut microbiome. Many of them are bacteria. Others are fungi and viruses. Together they form one of the most complex ecosystems on Earth. Most of these microbes aren't enemies. They're partners. They help digest fibers your body cannot break down on its own. They produce vitamins like vitamin K and several B vitamins. They train your immune system. They even communicate with your brain through what's called the gut-brain axis. Scientists now believe these tiny organisms may influence mood, memory, stress, sleep, and even mental health. In many ways, your gut is sometimes called your second brain. After nutrients have been absorbed, what's left enters the large intestine. Its main job isn't digestion. It's recycling. The colon absorbs water and electrolytes from the remaining material. Without this process, you'd lose enormous amounts of fluid every day. Meanwhile, gut bacteria continue fermenting leftover fibers, producing beneficial compounds that nourish cells lining the colon. Gradually, waste becomes more solid. Eventually, it reaches the rectum, where it's stored until elimination. While this may seem like the least glamorous part of digestion, it's one of the body's most important waste removal systems. Removing waste efficiently keeps the internal environment healthy and balanced. Digestion isn't controlled by organs alone. An enormous network of nerves coordinates everything. Your digestive system contains over 100 million neurons. That's more neurons than your spinal cord. This network is called the enteric nervous system. It controls muscle contractions, enzyme secretion, blood flow, and communication with the brain. Interestingly, many digestive functions continue even if signals from the brain are interrupted. That's why scientists often refer to it as the body's second brain. This constant communication explains why stress can upset your stomach, and why excitement sometimes causes butterflies in your belly. Your brain and digestive system are constantly talking. Let's follow one bite of food. A piece of bread enters your mouth. Saliva begins digesting starch. The esophagus transports it downward. The stomach mixes it with acid and enzymes. The small intestine absorbs glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream. Insulin helps move it into cells. Inside tiny structures called mitochondria, glucose combines with oxygen to produce ADP, the energy currency powering nearly every cell in your body. The energy from one bite may eventually help your heart beat, your eyes see, your muscles move, or even your brain think. Everything starts with digestion. Despite its incredible design, the digestive system isn't invincible. Poor eating habits, chronic stress, dehydration, infections, excessive alcohol, smoking, or lack of fiber can all interfere with normal digestion. Common problems include acid reflux, stomach ulcers, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, gallstones, and inflammatory bowel diseases. Sometimes symptoms seem minor, but persistent digestive problems should never be ignored. Early diagnosis often prevents much more serious complications. Your digestive system works tirelessly every day. Taking care of it means taking care of your entire body. Every meal you eat begins an extraordinary journey. From the moment food enters your mouth until the final nutrients reach your cells, countless organs, muscles, enzymes, acids, nerves, hormones, and trillions of microbes work together with astonishing precision. Your digestive system isn't just a food processor. It's an intelligent, self-regulating biological factory that powers every heartbeat, every breath, every thought, and every movement you make. The next time you take a single bite of food, remember, inside your body, an invisible universe instantly comes alive. And perhaps the most incredible part of all, this breathtaking process has been happening every single day of your life, without you ever needing to think about it. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden world inside your own body, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more fascinating journeys into the science that shapes everyday life.